Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the MLB slate on DraftKings for Friday, June 8th. We have 14 games tonight on the main slate. And it's a loaded slate with a lot of pitching options, a lot of bats to pay up for. Got studs to pitcher, you got value pitchers, you got mid-tier plays as well. A lot of ways that you can go, I feel like. And then there are good teams, like expensive teams in good spots. The Red Sox, for example, get to face Dylan Covey, so there's going to be expensive bats we want to pay up for. Kind of got to try and find a way where we can get the expensive bats we want and the expensive pitchers we want as well. I think we can do both because there's some cheap pitchers I like on the slate. But yeah, we'll talk about pitchers, batters for today. Before we do get started, though, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, and if you have not subscribed yet, be sure you do hit that subscribe button down below, so that way you won't miss out on any of my new videos. But yeah, pitcher today, we have 5 options on this slate, or 6 options, excuse me, that are over 10K. Got Verlander, Trevor Bauer, Chris Sale, Strasburg, DeGrom, and J.A. Happ. A lot of these guys get really good matchups. I would say all of them are in play. Verlander gets to face a Texas team that strikes out a lot. Trevor Bauer, another good strikeout matchup against Detroit. Chris Sale gets to face the White Sox. Strasburg gets a matchup against the Giants, a team that strikes out. The Yankees, a good offensive lineup, a good lineup with power, but strikeouts are definitely in that lineup. And that's DeGrom's matchup for today. He gets to face the Yankees. And then J.A. Happ gets to face a Baltimore team that strikes out as well. It's going to be hard to pick the right guy here, but the guy I'm leaning on is Chris Sale. I think he's the stud I want to pay up for on this slate, especially with him being 11,100. It was very surprising that he was not the most expensive pitcher on this slate. He has been pretty poor lately, his last 2 games, but those have been very tough matchups against the Astros and Braves, 2 teams that are very good offensively, that don't strike out a lot. Sale did not look good in those games, but before that against Tampa Bay, had 9 strikeouts, 33 DraftKings points. Against Oakland, 9 Ks again, 25 DK points. This is definitely a matchup where Sale can rack up some strikeouts. We just look at the projected lineup for the White Sox and their implied run total. They have a 2.9 implied run total. There are a ton of strikeouts in this lineup from top to bottom. And just a lot of these hitters are not very good hitters either. So I love Sale here. With Covey on the opposing mound, the Red Sox should be able to give Sale some run support. He should be able to pick up a win. I think he's my top pitching option on this slate. I just prefer him over all the other studs, but all these guys are in play, I feel like. All of them do have upside, and all of them get decent strikeout matchups. But I am leaning Sale if I just have to choose one. And then SP2s, I think there are a lot of ways you can go at SP2. Walker Buehler gets a decent matchup with the Braves. I don't know if I love that matchup, but Buehler has definitely been good this year. He's looked great. Don't mind playing him at 9,300. Caleb Smith gets to face the Padres. We love that matchup. Caleb Smith's 9,100. But the guy that really sticks out to me is Vince Velasquez. I really like Vince Velasquez here. 8,300 versus a Brewers team that is right-handed heavy. Velasquez is very good versus righties, gets a lot of strikeouts versus righties. If we just look at the projected lineup for the Brewers, they have only 3 lefties in their projected lineup. Christian Yelich, Travis Shaw, and then Jonathan Villar, a switch hitter that will be batting from his left side. Other than those 3 guys, you're going to have 6 righties in this lineup. And like I said, Velasquez is very good against righties. Gets a lot of strikeouts, doesn't allow a lot of hits to righties, just very good versus righties. So I like Velasquez here at 8,300. This guy does have upside. He can get strikeouts. He's been very consistent this year, which is something we kind of haven't seen in past years. For fantasy, he's been pretty consistent. And I do like Velasquez here. 8,300 as an SP2 option you can pair with the stud of your choosing. If you do decide to go Sale and Velasquez, that still leaves you over 3,800 remaining per player, which you should easily be able to work around today. But quickly going over other pitchers on this slate, other SP2s. I think Frankie Montas here at 7,900 versus KC could be an SP2 play if you want to go to him. He's getting a great pitcher's park here in Oakland, getting to pitch at home, a very good pitcher's park. He's been very good this year through 2 outings, been pretty consistent, 26 and 20 DraftKings points, pitched 6 and 8 innings in both of those starts, got 7 and 2 strikeouts, only got 2 strikeouts against the Royals the last time he did play this team. But he pitched deep into the game, got the win as well, finished with 20 DK points. I think Frankie Montas, 7,900, you could go to if you want to go to him. I think Luke Weaver might be a little risky here versus the Reds, but definitely has upside. If you want to play Luke Weaver at 7,500, I think he could be an option you go to. But then after Luke Weaver, it really isn't a ton I love that's cheap, like 6K and under. I don't think there's any cheap options I'm going to. The guys that really stick out to me are like in this 7K, 8K range with like Smith, Montas. I think Junis could even be a play. Luke Weaver, maybe even Garrett Richards there as well at 7,700. Especially Velasquez though, right, squeezed in between all those guys. I love here at 8,300. But yeah, those are kind of the pitchers I'm targeting on this slate. Now, if we want to talk about bats, the hitters I like, I did mention the Red Sox. I love the Red Sox today versus Dylan Covey. So at first base, I think Mitch Moreland at 4,600 is definitely a good play at this position. Mitch Moreland has been very good this year. He's been very good versus righties. And Dylan Covey, just not a good pitcher. We look at the implied run total for the Red Sox. It's at 5.2 runs, excuse me. Definitely one of the highest on the slate. I love the Red Sox here. Dylan Covey's just not good. Gives up power, gives up home runs. We know the Red Sox have so much power in their lineup, and I think they make for a great stack today. Mitch Moreland at first base is a play that I like at 4,600. Then my next guy is at second base. You can also play him at third base. Been on him a lot lately. Matt Carpenter at 4K has a great matchup today with Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey just not good. The dude doesn't have it anymore. I love the Cardinals. Excuse me. I love the Cardinals today. Another team that you can stack up versus Harvey in the Great American Ballpark. It's going to be hot there in Cincinnati. Going to be 82 degrees. Going to be pretty humid as well. The ball should be flying out of the ballpark. I think guys like Carpenter, Pham, Ozuna, I think these are some great plays on this slate. These dudes are insanely cheap as well. Besides Carpenter and Pham, everyone in this lineup is under 4K with Martinez, Ozuna, Molina, Dexter Fowler, all sub 4K. Just great value from the Cardinals today versus Harvey. Like I said, Harvey's just not good, doesn't have it anymore, gives up home runs, especially to lefties. And I really like Carpenter here. A lefty with a lot of power versus righties. I think he's a great play. Second base, third base, you want to play him at either position. I definitely think he makes sense at 4K. Then my final guy in the outfield, really cheap value option I like here, was on him on Thursday night, came through for us. Curtis Granderson, I think, another good play today. 3,500, just some really good value. Should be batting leadoff versus Andrew Cashner, a pitcher that is not very good, that struggles to lefties. Granderson has some decent BVP versus Cashner. He's gone 4 for 14 with the home run. It's not great BVP, but gives us a little something extra. Main reason I just really like Granderson here is because he's 3,500, should be leading off versus a bad pitcher, and is leading off for a Blue Jays team that does have a 5.3 implied run total for today. I think the Blue Jays are another team that you can look to for value. They have a ton of cheap bats in their lineup. Looks like Josh Donaldson going to be returning, and he's only 3,900. You could definitely consider Josh Donaldson here, especially with that really cheap price tag. I do like the Blue Jays as well, another cheap team that you can stack up. Especially Granderson leading off there at 3,500. But yeah, guys, these are my 5 plays for today's slate. Chris Sale, Vince Velasquez, Mitch Moreland, Matt Carpenter, and Curtis Granderson. Now, if we quickly want to go over stacks and BVP plays on this slate, stacks for me are really the 3 teams I mentioned: the Cardinals, the Cardinals, the Red Sox, and then the Blue Jays are another team I'm going to. Especially the Cardinals and the Blue Jays if you're looking for value. If you're paying up for pitcher today, the Cardinals and Blue Jays should be 2 teams you're really focused on. If you can find some expensive bats, or if you can fit in some expensive bats, then definitely consider the Red Sox here versus Dylan Covey, a team that I do like. Even the Astros in Texas, 95 degrees versus Doug Fister, could definitely be plays as well. Especially like in the middle of this lineup, you've got some value here with Gurriel, with Reddick, Brian McCann. These guys are pretty cheap, sub 4K. You could add the Astros to the stack list as well. But definitely the 3 teams I mentioned before are the ones I'm really focused on. Now quickly going over BVP plays, 14-game slate, so we do have a lot of them. Just quickly looking at some of them with a decent sample, like at least a 20 at-bat sample. Buster Posey, 9 for 21 versus Steven Strasburg. Manny Machado, 8 for 31 with 3 home runs versus J.A. Happ. Let's see here. Miguel Cabrera, 8 for 25 with a home run versus Trevor Bauer. Giancarlo Stanton's 9 for 22 with 4 home runs versus Jacob deGrom. I know Stanton always hit deGrom well when he played for the Marlins. Stanton has a really good BVP versus deGrom. Could definitely be a sort of a one-off tournament play. Not sure what the price is. 4,500. You are getting somewhat of a discount on Giancarlo Stanton. You could consider him with that BVP versus deGrom. But then a couple more plays. Marcell Ozuna, 9 for 24 versus Matt Harvey. Zach Kozar only has 7 hits and 42 ABs versus Lance Lynn, but does have 3 home runs. He's only hitting 167 versus Lynn, but does have 3 home runs. Carlos Gonzalez, 15 for 45 with 5 home runs versus Zach Greinke. He's really hit Greinke well. Trevor Story, 8 for 26 with 4 home runs versus Greinke, also has shown a lot of power versus him. Then finally, Matt Kemp, 7 for 16 versus Brandon McCarthy. If you want to look at any of the other BVP plays, you can just pause the video here and just kind of skim through these. skim through the ones I didn't mention. But quickly going over PVB, the pitchers that have done well in their matchups. We'll cover these. Steven Strasburg done well in this matchup with the Giants in the past. The Giants are only hitting him for a 239 average. Verlander, really no surprise, has done well against the Rangers. Rangers are only hitting Verlander for a 187 average. Lance Lynn has done well in this matchup with the Angels. Angels are only hitting him for a 196 average. And then finally, Zach Greinke has done well against the Rockies. The Rockies only hitting Greinke for a 277 average. That is pretty good. So I'm not really sure we could consider Greinke that has done well in this matchup. Not really sure why that's showing as a hot pitcher matchup. But Greinke and Coors probably wasn't going to consider him anyway. And the pitchers that have done poorly in their matchups, that have struggled versus the teams they're facing. Jacob deGrom has struggled in this matchup with the Yankees in the past. The Yankees have hit him for a 328 average. They do have 5 home runs versus deGrom, 20 hits, and 61 ABs. And then German Marquez has done poorly against the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks have hit Marquez for a 319 average through 91 ABs. They have 4 home runs and 29 hits in those 91 ABs. But yeah, I think that's it for PVB and BVP on this main slate, guys. I think that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it did help you. If you did enjoy and the video did help, then make sure you click that like button before you get out of here. Make sure you do subscribe before you get out of here. And as always, if you have questions, you can hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, or feel free to leave a comment down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Good luck tonight on this slate, guys. Peace.